Some political parties, as we've been discussing, including the African Transformation Movement, have now written to the Acting Minister of Police, Feroz Kachalia, asking for the release of that declassified Palapala report that we've just been discussing. Let's speak to ATM Member of Parliament, Vuyo Zungula, who's joining us on the SABC News channel this evening. Good to have you on the show, Vuyo, as always. So, IPED is basically saying that now that the report has been declassified, those of you who want to get access to its contents have to apply for access. Will you make that application?
Evening, Tembekile. Yes, definitely we will. The first thing that we've done today was to write to the Portfolio Committee Chairperson on Police to ask that they must summon IPED. So IPED can go to Parliament through that Portfolio Committee to table that report. We are also working on submitting a prior application because we are the complainants in this issue. And it boggles our minds that we begged since 2023 for this report and we were never given. And when the report, they said it was done, they said it is classified. So for us to have to beg and go through so many legal hurdles for us to access the report, it shows how this government is not taking seriously the issue of transparency and accountability when there's any allegations of wrongdoing. So we are going to push very hard on this issue to get that report, and we're going to share with South Africans what it entails because it's very important South Africans do understand if there's any level of criminality in SABS.
So access to this report on the Palapala robbery, at least as it relates to the conduct of members of the SAPS, which is what falls under the scope of IPED's investigative abilities, access is only going to be granted based on whether the people within IPED who review the reasons put forward think that that is reason enough to grant permission for a party like the ATM to read through the contents. What will you put forward as the reasons for access?
Most importantly for us, the critical issue is the issue of transparency. Knowing very well that a few years ago, you had the protectors, which are SAPS members that are attached to the deputy president. They were caught committing acts of criminality by beating, someone in a busy freeway. That's how they were terrorizing people, in that particular instance. Now, to have a case whereby SAPS members, one of the allegations that were put forth was the issue of them torturing one of the suspects who is a female. For us, we can't live in a country whereby state machinery in the form of SAPS, and not just SAPS members in a small town, police office, but SAPS members working for the president are alleged to have, terrorized and tortured a female. We can't have that. The second issue, it is that once that investigation shows that they were conducting an unlawful investigation because there was no case opened, then it raises other questions whether do they commit other crimes or conceal other crimes, given that they are given instructions by their political principals, in this case, the president, because it would show a widespread problem of SAPS protectors who are attached to political principals, whether it's
Right.
mayors, MECs, they are basically doing crime as instructed by their principals.
Let me ask you then why you believe that a report that is issued by IPED looking specifically at the conduct of members of the police service in the Phala Phala robbery matter would lead to political ramifications, i.e. lead to a path for accountability by the president, which I know the opposition has called for several times since we heard about what happened at Palapala as far ago as 2020.
When Wally Rode, which is the head of the Presidential Protection Unit, was asked in his own affidavit, sonative affidavit, he did allude to the fact that he was brought into the picture to know about the theft or the burglary in Palapala by the president. In other words, he was given an instruction by the president to look into the matter. Therefore, each and everything, therefore, that he does comes as a result of that unlawful or illegal instruction. So that is why it becomes important that IPID, which is a body that investigates the conducts of SAPS members, must be able to advise us or advise based on that report or investigation whether there was that such unlawful instruction, and if yes, then it means Wallace Rode was not by his own violation, but it
Right.
was based on an instruction that he got from his political principal, which is the
What
president.
happens then if this report does not say that, if it does not give you the silver bullet that you want in order to take the accountability route against the president specifically?
Look, what this report for us should do, it should detail how the SAPS members, what they did and how, whether there was any violations in terms of the laws and the legislation. Because remember, Public Protector was looking at another issue, the Reserve Bank was looking at another issue. But for now, we were focusing on the police, and if the police were found to be in the wrong, they must be held accountable so that if Wally Rode currently is still where he
Okay, I think we've lost our connection to Vuyo Zungula, Member of Parliament for the ATM, the African Transformation Movement, which has confirmed it will apply for access to the IPID report on the Phala Phala farm burglary, the farm owned by President Cyril Ramaphosa, where foreign currency was stolen almost 6 years ago now. Political parties like the ATM still not convinced that there hasn't been any political accountability or attempt, at least, to cover up what happened on that farm. We'll leave it there for now. Vuyo Zungula bringing us to the end